Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is Tuesday, a beautiful day to dive deep into the absolute madness that just went down in Port Charles. We have so much to unpack, so let's get right into it. The water is freezing, the stakes are life or death, and the clock is ticking down to zero. One shove, one desperate splash, and the entire power dynamic of Port Charles just flipped upside down. Every single person in this town is now staring down the barrel of an impossible choice, and nobody is walking away clean. I cannot believe she actually did it. I mean, I am sitting here, in the dark, typing furiously, and rewinding my screen because I just had to see Britt Westbourne slug Jason in the jaw one more time. And let me tell you, I am feeling so many conflicting emotions right now. Because on Friday's episode, she was smiling. She was so genuinely excited that he was finally back in town after months of being presumed dead or locked away in some horrible WSB black site. But then he walks into General Hospital, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a surgical scalpel. She doesn't just welcome him back with open arms. She literally unwelcomes him with a vicious right hook. And honestly, he kind of deserved it. I have been watching this show religiously since 2015, and I have seen Jason push women away to protect them a million times. Remember when he tried this exact same routine with Sam McCall years ago? Yeah, it didn't work then either, and it just caused years of unnecessary heartbreak. But this situation with Britt feels entirely different. Jason isn't just being his usual stoic, emotionless mob enforcer self. He is fundamentally broken from whatever horrific trauma he endured in that WSB prison. He is traumatized. So he genuinely thinks he is doing the right thing by ghosting Britt and focusing entirely on being a father to Danny. But Britt has been through absolute hell while he was gone. She was arrested in Tortola, she was gaslit by Ross Cullum into thinking she was dying of Huntington's disease, and she lost years of her life to a saline placebo. She desperately needed him, and he wasn't there. So when she slaps him, it is not just anger flashing in her eyes. It is pure, unadulterated heartbreak. She is lashing out because the man who promised to love her is now looking at her like a stranger. I know some people are loving this angsty, tortured romance, but personally, it hurts to watch. But I also know that Jason is making a choice, and choices have consequences. Wait, I am getting way ahead of myself. Okay, back to the absolute craziest moment of the entire episode. Nina Reeves. I am sorry, but what on earth is going through this woman's head? I can't believe she actually did that. Before I even attempt to explain the logistics of the Quartermain boathouse, we need to talk about the sheer audacity of Nina shoving Drew Kane, a man strapped into a medical wheelchair, directly into the freezing lake. I mean, I know she was panicking. I know Drew was rapidly regaining his speech and his mobility as the paralytic wore off. I know he was sitting there, goading her with pure venom in his voice, and she realized her entire life was about to explode. But attempted murder by drowning? This is vintage, unhinged Nina Reeves at her absolute finest. This is the exact same woman who stole a baby and kept Sonny's identity a secret in Nixon Falls for months on. She panics, she does something completely psychotic in the heat of the moment, and then she immediately regrets it. Because the second Drew hits the water, she is screaming her head off, faking this whole routine of needing help for him. She's desperately trying to cover her tracks, hoping he drowns before anyone gets there, and probably planning to claim she couldn't swim to save him. It is so dark. It is so twisted. And I am absolutely here for it. Nina faking her way through a bad situation is peak daytime drama. She is standing on that dock, watching the bubbles rise, knowing that if he survives, she is going to prison for a very long time. And the irony, the sheer beautiful soap opera irony, of Brooklyn Quartermain being the one to accidentally ruin Nina's murderous plan. Brooklyn is just casually chatting with Gio Palmieri up at the main mansion, and she makes an offhand suggestion. She tells him he should grab one more swim before he goes. A swim, because, it's a hot July day and the Quartermain estate has that massive lake. But Gio isn't just some random kid taking a leisurely dip. He is a trained summer lifeguard. So he heads down to the boathouse, hears Nina's fake, hysterical screaming echoing across the property, and his training instantly kicks in. He realizes there's a man drowning in the lake. Gio is going to dive in without a second thought. He is going to save Drew's life, because that is exactly what a lifeguard does. It doesn't matter who the potential drowning victim is, Gio's going to pull him out of that murky water. But think about what happens next. Drew Kane is going to survive. And Drew is already furious. He has been maliciously dosed with paralytics for weeks, trapped inside his own unresponsive body, and now his mother-in-law just tried to drown him like a rat in a cage. When he gets out of that water, coughing up lakeweed and vengeance, he is going to be out for blood. The revenge tour is going to be absolutely legendary. I am dreading what he's going to do to Nina and Willow, but I also kind of want to see them pay. Am I the only one who feels as conflicted about Drew suddenly being the victim? Speaking of Willow, can we please talk about this pathetic Weeping Willow act? Because I am so incredibly over it. Harrison Chase shows up at her congressional office, in full uniform, doing his job. He is ready to take her to the PCPD voluntarily for questioning regarding the Jen Sidwell case. And what does Willow do? She instantly turns on the waterworks. She is literally shaking, tears streaming down her flawless face, and she looks at this man who used to love her with his whole heart and asks him to compromise his entire career. Would you do me a favor and just tell him you couldn't find me? Are you kidding me, Willow? You are a sitting congresswoman! You have been secretly injecting your own husband with illegal paralytics to keep him locked in. And now you are begging a cop to lie on his official report for you? It is so deeply manipulative. I remember when Willow was just a sweet, innocent schoolteacher who wanted to protect Wiley. Now she is a full-blown villain playing the victim card whenever she gets cornered. She wants Chase to stall so she can take Jack Brennan's offer to go on the run with new identities. She was ready to pack up her kids, grab her mother, and vanish into thin air. But Nina was unsure because they would lose their cushy jobs and their wealthy lifestyles. So now Willow is backed into a corner, and she is using Chase's lingering feelings to save her own skin. I really hope Chase doesn't fall for it, but knowing his hero complex, he just might. So while Willow is crying in her office, Jack Brennan is desperately trying to secure his leverage across town. We get this incredible high-tension scene at the WSB field office between Brennan and Valentine Cassidy. These two actors are just magnificent on screen together. Valentine has the missing black box that he found hidden at Windermere, the exact box that contains all the evidence Brennan needs to control Drew Kane, and Valentine is holding all the cards. Jack looks at him, sweating bullets, and asks what he is expecting, and Valentine just gives him that signature Cassadine smirk. Because Valentine doesn't just do favors out of the goodness of his heart. He wants his frozen WSB finances released immediately. But let's be real, he probably wants a lot more than that. He has his physical freedom now, but he still has a massive target on his back. Maybe he wants protection from Sonny Corinthos. We all know Sonny has Brick digging up dirt to destroy Valentine and Carly's romance. Valentine is a master chess player. He knows that handing over this black box gives Brennan the ultimate power to save Nina and Willow from prison, but Valentine is going to squeeze every single drop of advantage out of this transaction before he hands it over. It is high-stakes bargaining, and I love every single second of it. And speaking of high-stakes bargaining, let's pivot to Ava Jerome and Ethan Lovett. I mean, the chemistry between these two is absolutely off the charts. They are standing near her office at the Jerome Art Gallery, surrounded by priceless art, and the tension is sizzling. Ava looks at him, her eyes narrowing, and asks what he is truly after. Because Ava knows Ethan is running a massive... We all know he faked that DNA test and stole police evidence to claim he is baby Phoebe's father. Ava has this dangerous leverage over him, and she is enjoying every minute of making him squirm. But the spoilers reveal that she actually comes clean to Ethan, which makes me think Ethan might be the one turning the tables and starting the questioning. What is Ethan actually trying to get out of Ava? Is he looking for an alibi? Protection from whoever is chasing him from his past? Or maybe, just maybe, he is after a little chemistry? Because they are flirting dangerously close to the edge of blackmail and romance. It is a classic soap opera trope, and honestly, I am totally buying it. Ava desperately needs a new sparring partner, and Ethan is proving that he can go toe-to-toe with the gallery queen without breaking a sweat. Finally, we absolutely have to talk about Molly and Dante at the PC. They are sitting in the interrogation room, just engaging in some casual shop talk about the upcoming Jen Sidwell trial. Molly has been officially assigned to prosecute him, and this should theoretically be the biggest, most career-defining case of her entire life. But Molly apologizes to Dante for not getting excited about the possibility. And I completely get it. I know some fans are screaming at their televisions, saying Molly should be thrilled to put this monster up. Sidwell held Justine Turner hostage, he terrorized the entire town, and he is a ruthless criminal. But Molly is overwhelmed. She was supposed to go on a nationwide book tour with Cody Bell. She is a published author now, and her life is pulling her in two completely different directions. Plus, prosecuting an international criminal who has zero regard for human life is terrifying. Dante is such a great sounding board for her. He grounds her and understands the pressure of the badge. But I have a terrible feeling that Sidwell's trial is going to blow this whole town wide open. If Sidwell starts talking to save himself, Willow's crimes are going to come out. The whole paralytic drug ring is going to be exposed, and nobody is going to be safe from the fallout. Will Drew survive to exact his ultimate revenge, or will Nina's watery trap silence him forever? Drop your wildest theories below, hit that subscribe button, and join the conversation.